Hello guys and welcome to Skrrt Garage and welcome to this, a Mercedes 190E 2.3 16 valve. And while that might sound a little bit like a printer, this car is actually a bucket list or dream car, if you will, and it will now be joining me in the Skrrt Garage. So today what I want to do is just kind of walk around the car, give you guys an update because I've actually had this for about 2 or 3 months now. And I want to tell you guys what has transpired, what I've done to the vehicle, what I plan to do to the vehicle, and another vehicle that has left the Skrrt Garage stable. So with that, let's get this video started. Okay guys, today in this video, I'm not actually going to be doing any sort of review of the car. I'm just going to kind of let you know generally what I've done in the last couple months to get you guys up to speed. And then all future videos will be specific videos, kind of more start and finish type videos. So first things first, this is an original 190E 2.3 16 valve. This car came to the United States for only 2 years, 1986 and 1987. This is a 1987 model. In those 2 years, these cars only came in 2 colors. A kind of beige looking color that people call accountant beige. That car is actually called smoke silver, and it's cool. This car is black supposedly, but it's kind of like a gray black. And yeah, those are the 2 colors that came in this car. Also, you could get this car with an automatic transmission or a 5-speed dog leg manual, which this car does have. Actually happy about that. And beyond that, all the American cars did have fully loaded options. So this car in particular has 76,000 original miles. It's had 3 previous owners, and all of the owners took amazing care of this car. It came with documents from service records from every single year of its life. It is absolutely immaculate, and that's actually part of the reason why I had to get it. There just aren't that many of these available right now, and considering that only 2,000 came to the United States, I figured there's really no better time than now. I'm gonna save all the really cool nitty-gritty stuff for the full review. But this car, it's a special car. Not very many people know, but this is kind of the C63 before we got the C63. This is pre-AMG merger. So AMG was not factory backed at this time. And if you can tell, there was another engine builder company that was involved with this car, and that is Cosworth. Cosworth was an engine tuning company who actually helped design the head for this car. And I said in the beginning of the video, but this really is one of my kind of bucket list cars. Being a pre-AMG merger, being one of the last truly manual options that Mercedes offered, and being a homologation race car. There's just something so cool about that. So let me walk around the car, generally tell you a little bit about it. So these spoilers, they came on the 2.3 16 cars. They also had larger spoilers if you go to the higher models. Towards the end of the race history of this car, they came out with the Evo 1, which is a little bit taller spoiler, and an Evo 2, which has a very big spoiler with obviously some bigger body cladding and wheel arches and stuff like that. The previous owner did put on this very good looking AMG tips. It actually has MagnaFlow exhaust mufflers, but the car sounds awesome. So I'll definitely add a sound clip right now. And now if we get back onto just kind of the general body of the car, if you were here, you would be blown away with the paint condition. It is all original and everything looks flawless. The only, I guess, thing that you can tell that's kind of worn on this car is just the door handles. I'm sure I can get some, I guess, blacking solution and put it over there to make them dark again, but I didn't want to mess getting anything on the paint, so I haven't done that. The other thing I have noticed is that it has this pinstripe, and this pinstripe did not come from the factory, but I do know that in the 90s and 80s, a lot of cars, you could get them installed at dealers or at body shops, because that was a very popular fad back in the 80s and 90s. Another kind of cool thing, again, you can hear that solid thud from the door, so cool. This car is a 4-seater, it is not a 5-seater. This car had factory Recaro front seats and factory Recaro rear seats, and you can see just how immense the bolsters are in this car. It's really pretty amazing that a car from the 80s has rear seats like this, because this was just becoming popular again in, like, you know, the 2010s, that era. The big time sports cars were getting this again. So very cool that a car had this way back in the 80s. I'm not sure if this was the first car, but it would not surprise me. Let's again look at the front, because this interior, this is 1987, so you know, we're talking 35 years old, something like that. And the leather quality, I don't know what kind of cows they used to do this, but the leather quality is just incredible, absolutely insane. I can't believe everything is this nice, and everything's power. You have power front seats, power headrest. I mean, it's really pretty cool. Again, if we pop inside, you can see here is the 5-speed dogleg manual transmission. The gauges themselves all look very cool, kind of that retro Mercedes look. And let's pop the engine real quick, show that to you as well. But before, I'm not gonna forget, these wheels, I did these myself, and I'm gonna make a separate video just about suspension and wheels, because it is a dark art with these cars. So with this, you actually have to pull this little tongue right here, and then with your other hand, pull it up. See if I can get it there. Okay, so this is the 2.3 16 valve car. I don't remember why I was opening the engine. I guess just to show you what it looks like. I'm gonna have a separate video all about the Mercedes KE Jetronic. If you are looking to buy one of these cars, I know that's a sticky issue, and it is for a good reason. You know, these are mechanically injected, and so you do have to have a multimeter, and you do have to work through all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna make another video on how to do that, how to troubleshoot some stuff, so stay tuned for that. Briefly, I'm gonna talk about the things I've already fixed. The stuff that I probably won't make a video on because somebody else already has one, or it's just not very sexy. The first thing is I changed the front headlights. The very astute of you will know that the American cars had headlight washer and wipers. The European cars, they also had some wipers, but most of them don't, and they have a flat single lens like this. And I think it just looks better. I think it looks a lot better, if I'm being honest. And so I changed these to the flat European front headlights. The car also used to have clear turn signals. I changed them back to the amber. I think it just looks more period correct, personally. Another thing I did was in the car here, this vent, for whatever reason, this right here means fresh air. And this means closed. So when you push it up like this, it allows the air conditioning or the fresh air to come in. And for whatever reason, it got broken on the inside. And so I had to take this off, reconnect it, put a bolt through it, glue it, and paint it. And no one would ever know now, but yeah, it used to not work, now it does work. So I did that. What else? This, the power seat control. So with time, the power seats on these cars, sometimes they will lose their connections because the little stuff inside of here are just soldered together, and they use like what look like little BBs, and you move it, and with time, I don't know, they get too gummed up, or they get too much grease and random stuff build up in there. So long story short, I took this off, I cleaned everything, I put it back together. All the solder joints look fine, so I touched the tips of them with some sandpaper, put it back in, and then now power seats, everything works perfect. But when I did first get the car, the seat was all the way far back and it would not go forward. So I did have to fix that pretty fast. Another thing I had to do on this car was figure out a wiring issue. Let me pop the trunk and show you. So you would not know now, obviously this trunk is massive, but there are wires right here that run down, and I had a wiring short from the wires that were caught right here. And that took forever, guys. It happened every single time I would turn the car on, I would hit the brake. One of the front fuses, and on this car, it's an old car, so they use torpedo fuses. I don't know if you can see them down there. But every time I'd hit the brake, the fuse would pop. And the fuse is also connected from the rear brake lights to the dash. So not only would the rear brake lights not work, but the dash, all the instrument cluster stuff would also turn off. And so I couldn't drive the car. And so I had to figure out this wiring issue ASAP. And it took a couple weeks to go through every wire, because the circuit that is connected to the rear brake lights is also connected to ABS, also connected to the cruise control, also connected to all the instrument cluster information. So it could be anything on the instrument cluster, the actual back of the instrument cluster. It could be any of the wires that run to the back of the trunk. So it took me a while to dissect and to find exactly where the brake was, but I found it, I repaired it, and now everything works great. So that is where we are at right now. I think this car is amazing. It's the ultimate if you know type car. You have to be a true car enthusiast to really understand what this is about and kind of the history behind it. But if you know, you know. And now you guys do, and you guys know that I love this car. So that is gonna wrap up this video. I did also mention that a car has left the Skrrt garage in there. So that car obviously isn't the Lexus, it is my beloved M2. So yes guys, my M2 is gone. But I'm mentioning it bittersweetly because an M2 is never really gone. I'm gonna be getting another one in the future. It'll probably be the M2 CS. So we'll talk about that, at another date. But anyways, that is what I have. Other cool cars, another very cool car will be coming to the channel, hopefully by the end of the year. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. But that is the car. If you guys have appreciated it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please let me know if you wanna know anything about this car. I have poured months of my life trying to learn about it. So if you want to know anything, if you want to see any videos about anything, let me know. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.